Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Danielle and my handles on social media are Hello Happy Plants. I collect tropical plants and I grow them here in my yard in South Florida. I started collecting aroids and tropical plants during COVID, like many people, so I decided to start a YouTube channel to share my experiences with you. I went to 2 orchid festivals this month, and I thought this would be a great way to show you my haul from those festivals as my first YouTube video. So the first festival that I went to was the Tamiami Orchid Festival down in Miami. That is held once a year, but the same company puts on multiple events throughout the year. So there's going to be another one in May, and then Redland Orchid Festival, I believe, is in October usually every year. This is such a great event. There's vendors from all over the country, and it's a mix of orchids, aroids, Hoyas, like everything you could think of. It's not just orchids, which is why I kind of love the orchid festivals. So I figured I would show you that haul first. One of the first tents that I stopped at was the North Georgia Hoya tent. Patsy over there grows beautiful Hoyas, Patsy and Katie. They grow the most beautiful Hoyas and they are so nice. So I stopped by that tent first. Over the past year to 2, I've collected quite a lot of Hoyas. It's kind of gotten out of hand, so now I'm very particular when I purchase Hoyas because I have so many, and a lot of them do tend to either look alike or have similar blooms. So now when I buy a Hoya, I try to make sure it's one that's unique or doesn't look like something that I already have. So the 2 that I picked up from the Tamiami Orchid Festival were Hoya Sulawesiana. So this one usually gets really long, skinny leaves, and I don't have anything like this Hoya. She's a little rough looking, but she was already nicely rooted, so I'm so excited about this one. And the other Hoya that I grabbed was actually a cutting. This one is called Hoya Rime Splash. If you can see, it has a beautiful silvery splash to it. These were quite popular and quite expensive. I think they're still pretty expensive. I actually ended up getting this cutting for only $55, and it's been sitting in water for 2 weeks, and look how well it's already rooting. It's almost ready for soil, so I'm so excited about this one. It's going to grow so well during spring, I think. And then naturally, I had to get an orchid at the Orchid Festival, so I finally picked up a black orchid. I'm so excited. This one is called Millennium Magic Witchcraft. The name was just too cool to pass up. And like I said, this one actually gets black blooms, which I'm so excited for. And also too, it's already sprouting, which is great. These are new leaves. And he said it should actually bloom in the fall as long as it has like these new leaves growing. So I was so excited to find this. And the last plant that I picked up at the Orchid Festival, this has been on my wish list for probably at least 6 months. I love strappy anthuriums. Anthuriums are hit or miss for me. Some grow well, some don't. But this one I've wanted for a while, so I saw that Ecuagenera was there, and I found an Anthurium Pallidiflorum. Look at the size of this guy. Its leaves are so long, so beautiful. It was so healthy looking, and I was actually super excited. I was like checking out the roots, and he actually already had some roots in there, which was so exciting because it just means that he's going to have a better chance to thrive in my care since he was already rooted. And I've had it sitting in my Mills bow, just in the moss, kind of humid and moist, and I actually just found a new root right here. So this actually just appeared within the last couple of days, so I'm so excited. He must be happy in the Mills bow. So I'm probably going to leave this guy in moss for a while. He seems pretty happy in there, and I do not want to disturb that. I'll probably put him in a little bit bigger of a container though, so that way that new root will root into the moss nicely. So that was my haul from the Tamiami Orchid Festival. My sister and I were on our way back from Tampa last weekend, and we decided to stop in Apopka, which is right outside of Orlando. Krull-Smith Orchids is located there, and they were also having a festival. So it was orchids, and then there were also tropical plant vendors as well. So we decided to stop there. I got a couple more plants there that I figured I would share with you. The first one that I picked up was an orchid. Got this orchid from Krull-Smith. It's so beautiful, so unique. I have never seen anything like that. You could see like the purple polka dots in there. And it's crazy, when before this opened, this was a lot more purple looking, and now it's more like yellow orange. This orchid is called BC Yellowbird. So I'm not really sure what kind of orchid this is, to be honest. I'm not too familiar with orchids, but I think they are so beautiful. So this was really cute. This was only $20. I was excited about this one. Then I picked up 2 more Hoyas. Like I said, I am being more conscious about what Hoyas I get. These 2 have actually been on my wish list. So when I found these, for the price and size that I found them, I had to get them. The first one that I got was Hoya Ricardo. Just the sheer size of this leaf. And it has a little bit of splash on it. It's really dirty. I'm gonna have to clean this guy off. But I got this Hoya Ricardo. So many leaves in there and a couple of growth points. So normally a single node with like 1 to 2 leaves will go for $30 to $50, and I got this whole plant for $40. So I thought that was a great deal. So I grabbed this Hoya Ricardo, and I grabbed this splashy Hoya. Look how pretty this guy is. Super, super splashy leaves. This one was called Hoya EPC 832. So when I Googled Hoya EPC 832, I could not find anything about that Hoya. The only thing that came up was Chang Island. So I think this might be a hybrid, or it might be a Chang Island and it's just mislabeled, because I can't find anything about Hoya EPC 832. If anyone knows anything about this Hoya, let me know. I have never heard of it, but it's just so beautiful, so splashy, and the size of it. Look at that. It like wraps around the trellis at least 3 times. This one was also only $40. And I believe like a single node of Chang Island goes for probably $30. So I couldn't pass that up. The last plant I grabbed at the Krull-Smith sale was actually from Tropicals, which is an Ecuadorian importer. They had a booth there as well. This one has been on my list, and I was so torn if I should get it, but they had their plants all 40% off, so I decided to grab it. I got a Philodendron Patriciae. Oh, she's so pretty. So this is kind of like the Pallidiflorum. They're like a little bit of a strappy philodendron. So instead of Anthurium, it's a philodendron, but it's like a strappy one. It is so pretty. It's huge, so I decided to grab this. I actually haven't checked the roots out yet. I got this last weekend, so I'm curious what the roots look like. Let's open it and see how it looks. So this one was originally $90, and it was 40% off. So I got it for $54, which I thought was a great deal for a Philodendron Patriciae. And again, it is a little bit of a rehab because it was imported, but I've ordered plants, or I've gotten plants from Tropicals before, and they usually look pretty well. They usually are pretty healthy, and at least have roots started. So let's hope that that's the case with this guy. Also, have any of you imported plants? I feel like most crazy plant people, we've all imported plants at this point, and it's definitely hit or miss on your experience. I've only imported plants from like Indonesia one time, and it didn't go well, so I stay away from that. But I have imported plants from Ecuador. Now I just found that the more patient I am, I'll eventually find them locally at my nurseries. So I tend to not import plants as much as I used to. When I first got into plants, I imported plants all the time. I've imported a lot of plants from Monnierara, and I just found over the past year, since generally I feel like the hobby slowed down a little bit for a lot of people, I find them locally eventually at the shows, and I usually get them for a really good price, and they're already healthy, already rooted, and I don't have to import them. So I kind of stopped importing plants as much. All right, so here's the Patriciae. Just, it's so cool, and I can't believe like how much like how many nodes it already has. It's got these nice aerials too. I could already actually do like a chop and prop on it, which I might do. I'm not sure. But let's check out the roots. Oh, and here, look at this. It's got a massive chunk on it. That is like its original stem right here. That's crazy. Oh wow. So it's definitely has some roots. I don't know if they're healthy or not though. Okay, so here's the chunk. You can see that like this is like the old chunk stem, and then this is like where the new growth came from. There's definitely a lot of roots in here. I don't know if they look a little old and not too healthy. I'm gonna have to moisten this moss so I can get it off and actually see what's going on. But overall, the plant is super healthy. I think some of those roots might be viable because otherwise he wouldn't look so good. So I'm so excited about this Patriciae. And that is it for my plant haul for January. If you've made it this far in this video, thank you so much for being here. This was my first video. Hopefully you found it enjoyable. Plan to do more in the future. I'd love to give plant care tips, talk about specific plants, especially Hoyas. I have so many. Philodendrons actually have variegated banana plants as well. So I'll probably get into that on here a little bit once spring comes and things start growing again. As I mentioned, I live in South Florida and this winter has been rough. I know everyone else in the country has it a lot worse than us, but all of my plants are grown outdoors and we've had a lot of really cold weather and they're just not used to it. So a lot of the plants look very rough right now. I cannot wait for spring, and hopefully when spring comes, we'll have a lot of new growth and we'll have a lot of plants to share with you. Again, thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.